This is Damo, Charter Connection Fishing Charters at Gulf Harbour, and the charter vessel Diversity. That's her behind me just heading out there. That little dot right there. Anyway, this is what's been happening the last sort of 4 or 5 days since our last report. There was a couple of days there that were absolutely destroyed by weather, and we had quite a good lift in the Gulf. There was a good couple of metres there. There was also a lot of wind, a lot of rain, and it wasn't particularly a nice option to go fishing. So a couple of days got chucked on the back burner there. Prior to that, we'd been fishing over at the Ahas, just on a bit of hard bottom there. That had been quite good, and where I've been finding the fish over there is where the current and the tide, because they're quite big tides because of the big moon, had started pushing all those extra whelks and all that bottom feed and the crustacea and stuff like that, little crabs and all that sort of stuff, had been pushed up hard against the fowl. And where we'd typically been finding fish on the sand, they were now up against the fowl where they couldn't really escape, really, all that bait, all that feed for the snapper. And the snapper were in there feeding quite hard on the little crabs and the little whelks and the periwinkles and all that sort of stuff. And so a bit of thinking outside the box there got us onto a patch of pretty good fish, and I think the boys are going back there today because there's still some swell, so that's another thing. Also, we heard about some fish from a friend of mine that flies a helicopter, and he was flying some stuff into the Happy Jacks from Auckland, and I think it was the Happy Jacks or Coromandel there somewhere. It was easier to get it in by chopper than it was by boat or road, and the guy had plenty of money, so you know, that's always a good thing if you're flying a chopper. Anyway, long story short, he saw quite a few whales in the top of the Firth, 6 miles northwest of the Happy Jacks, also about 4 miles north west of the Gannett Rock area. There's a guy over here who thinks I'm absolutely balmy. It is. I am completely mad, don't worry. Anyway, I'll just turn my back on him. Anyway, so there's quite a bit of mammals in that area. Then the weather blew up and we couldn't get to it. So the boys are going to have a look there today if the AHA thing doesn't work. So that's their option. Prior to that weather turning to custard and having a bit of downtime, 3 places. Back at Carwell, again, we found the fish on the edges of the fowl, not on the fowl. And we also found a little bit of fish on the sand in the 50 metre mark again, but just not consistent. It's just weird up there. 1 minute you catch a barracuda, you go 500 metres away and you catch a skippy. What the hell's going on with that? I've never seen that before. Anyway, so that's happening there. A little bit patchy, not going to head back there in that direction just yet, although I have heard of some reasonable fish coming from the fowl itself, in the shallow, in the weeds, 8 to 12 metres, burleying up, small boat stuff. I'm not sure how the diversity goes and that sort of stuff up there at the moment, because we do cast a big shadow, and with 10 or 12 bods stomping around on deck, it's pretty much the kiss of death. So it's like someone beating a drum. And then the other place where we found a bit of fish was that 50 metre mark, again not that consistent, and then we came back down the Gulf and got it east of Tirri on the land side of the telecom cable, so on the Tirri Island side of the telecom cable. We found some fish there, all feeding on bait fish. They were all spitting out bloody chunks of pilly and crap like that, and there was a few gannets there. Nothing, you know, I wouldn't call it a workup or anything like that, but it was busy. The other thing I saw there was John Dory, and the John Dory were on the fowl, and we caught a few of those just putting live baits down and just basically leaving them in the corner in a rod holder with a 10-ounce sinker on. They just sat there, then tick, 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 away they go. We let them run for about a minute, and then they're pretty much hooked then, and they've swallowed the live end, and then you bring them up. So that's always a bit of a bonus. Over at the Ahas, where the boys are going today, they aren't terribly big fish. The average size will be 1 to 3 kilos. There are some trevally in it. There are some carwai over there as well. This little bit of swell that's left over, not that there's much left now. You can see on the point behind me there, just there, there's not much white water or anything like that there. The other day that was covered in white water, and also down at the bays, there was a lot of white water down the bays there, but overall, you know, there's not much swell left. The conditions today are great. They've got, at the moment there's nothing, you know, and the leaves aren't even moving on the trees. The flags aren't even flapping, and the birds are finding it hard to take off, so there's nothing in the way of conditions that are going to bother the boys today. I do see about 15 knots sort of southwest going around to the northwest as another front comes through. A few showers of rain coming over the next few days. It's easy peasy. So yeah, this is the option. And that was Diversity. This is Damo, and we're out of here. Catch us at www.charterconnection.co.nz or go to fishing.net.nz and have a look at the fishing reports forum there, and you'll be able to catch up with all our latest info.